Hi everyone. So today I am extremely very happy to interview one of our student Arjun. He secured rank 228 in UPSC examination 2022. So I still remember the day he enrolled for our prelims course, and his only aim was to clear UPSC in the very first attempt, and he did that. So before I proceed with the interview, I also want to tell you that he not only secured a rank in UPSC, but he also cleared Indian Economic Services with rank 1, which also conducted by UPSC examination. So first of all, congratulations Arjun.
Thank you so much.
I just want to be very to put the questions which are general very queries asked by my students. It's not I don't want to put very formal questions to you. So most important questions put by my students, like exactly how much hours you really used to give every single day, or it was more kind of consistent, or it's kind of like, yes, I have to give this much hour a day.
So I started the journey. So before starting the preparation, I was doing a job at McKinsey. So I decided to first leave the job because I knew that the preparation would require 1 year of full dedication from my side. So after quitting it in mid-July, my target was not to set the number of hours, but to see how much time would it take for me to complete the syllabus. I had one advantage कि I studied economic in my college and I had chosen that as an optional. So वहाँ पे मेरा थोड़ा time बच गया था in terms of it was not a new subject for me, but overall मेरा plan ये था कि I start with first running through my strategy कि पहले क्या complete करना है. And जब मैंने time table बनाना start किया, so I realized I had only 11 months for the prelims exam. So मतलब मेरा शेड्यूल ऐसा था कि एक तो जॉब छोड़ दिया था तो और कुछ करने को था नहीं, एंड आई वाज सुपर मोटिवेटेड बिकॉज एक अच्छा जॉब छोड़ के तैयारी करना. तो ऑन एन एवरेज आई ट्राइड कि एटलीस्ट 8 to 10 hours डेली ऑफ एक्टिव स्टडी. देन आफ्टर 10 hours देयर आल्सो समटाइम्स आई यूज्ड टू स्टडी फॉर 2-3 hours जहाँ पे पैसिव रीडिंग होते हैं, आपके दिमाग में कुछ नहीं जा रहा होता, बट यू एटलीस्ट गो थ्रू द स्टफ फॉर नेक्स्ट डे. तो मतलब आई ट्राइड कि एटलीस्ट कंसिस्टेंसी रहे. माय एम वाज टू कंप्लीट द टारगेट दैट आई सेट फॉर द डे, फॉर द मंथ, फॉर द वीक. नंबर ऑफ आवर्स ज्यादा फोकस नहीं होता बिकॉज समटाइम्स सिचुएशन इज नॉट अंडर योर कंट्रोल और कुछ सर्कमस्टांसेस आ जाते हैं जहां पे यू हैव टू बी फ्लेक्सिबल. सो दैट वाज नॉट रिजिड, बट एम वाज कि आई यूज्ड टू कीप माय टारगेट्स एवरी डे एंड ट्राई टू अचीव दोस एवरी डे, मतलब डे बाय डे.
I have seen that during the course of preparation for the UPSC, students are focusing on other exams too. But for me, the important is the first 2 years you should totally focus on UPSC and for not just losing concentration with other examination. Because once you get involved with other examination, somehow you are just giving your UPSC time to other examination. And I have seen once you clear the prelims part of other examination, then you go for the mains part. And in future, if you fail in mains too for the other subjects, then it affect your UPSC too much. So what you recommend, we should be going with other examination also simultaneously from the very first year, or we should give some time to UPSC before we should proceed?
So I think I have two perspectives on this. Firstly, I feel there should be a plan B. But for me, the plan B was going back to the corporate sector or exploring other opportunities. Indian Economic Services was not my plan B. So in terms of preparing for other exams, I'm sure if the content of the exam is very different from what is asked in the civil services examination, then surely I think you should avoid in at least the first year. For me, choosing Indian Economic Services was not a difficult task because firstly I had optional as an economics as an optional, and I also studied it. And the syllabus was moreover overlap of what is asked in the civil services examination. So for me, it was more of a preparation for the mains. It was kind of a mock test also, how well I am prepared. So in that sense, there was not something that I had to do differently for Indian Economic Services. For me, that was a good advantage. But for other exams where syllabus is different, I feel if you have chosen civil services as a path, you should at least give at least 1 year to that, so that you feel confident about your preparation. Even if your prelims do not go well, you have another year to go forward with the mains or even the prelims, and you can also have the backup plan after 1 year with going with other examination that is conducted.
One common question I get from the students is like about the ethics part. Okay,
Yes, sir.
because optional, we know very well that we have to start preparing with the month of May, June, July when we start our preparation.
Yes, sir.
Ethic, essay, and all we just try after prelims examination, all the test series and all. What about the ethics? How much we should complete ethics? At least before examination and after examination. That I want to know from your side.
So my ethics marks are not that good. I secured I think 99 marks, but to my best of my knowledge, I think my aim was to complete all the subjects before the prelims, so that I have a confidence that if I clear prelims, I can do well in mains. So I think that is given. You have to complete all the subjects before you start preparing for prelims. That is before the March. So that was my strategy. I had completed my syllabus for the ethics and also given some couple of full-length tests also, so that I had at least my notes prepared for the mains. And after the prelims result, so I didn't waste time making notes. So I had my notes prepared and just had to revise them. So I feel ethics should it is important to strategize where to keep it, but I will definitely recommend that you complete the syllabus of ethics, because one aspect of ethics is also from the current affairs and the newspapers we read, the examples we get from them. So if you haven't studied ethics at all before the prelims, you won't be able to generate those examples or keep in mind those examples that you would be writing in the exam in the mains. So it is important that you complete ethics beforehand, so that you have a comprehensive set of examples, set of anecdotes that can also be used in essays also. So I feel it should be prepared before you start preparing for the prelims in the month of March or whenever you start it.
And most important is about the CSET part. I have seen this year my 26 around 26 students, they cleared GS paper 1 but they failed in CSET paper. Actually, how the CSET is going now, like what exactly the motive behind the UPSC, what exactly they are planning something behind the CSET paper? Because what I really feel that CSET is like it's not for an average student right now to clear this paper easily. So what you expect in future, near future, and this year also, how you manage to score very well in CSET paper?
So I think on the CSAT part, I'm a bit fortunate that I've taken PCM in my class 11th and 12th, and now I also prepared for IIT. So in that sense, I had a foundation with respect to the questions that are being asked, especially in the mental ability and the mathematics. But having said that, I did prepare for the CSAT in my previous attempt, and the strategy was that I picked up 2 to 3 last year papers and attempted that. And I felt confident that if such kind of questions were asked, I'll be able to do that. But given that there are some tricks and tips that you can watch through YouTube with respect to the cubes question. But for the permutation and combination, I think I have that backing of 11th and class 12th, and that is helping me right now also. So if you do not have, if you haven't taken that PCM in class 11 and 12, it is important that you prepare for that permutation and combination, because this year, the level of the paper was such that those questions were asked in IIT JEE advanced questions exams.
Yes.
So it is not easy to crack. You need to give a proportionate time to the CSAT paper as well. But having said that, I think keeping in mind the trend, I feel UPSC is now testing how much questions people actually leave, because it is a negative marking. So you have to choose the questions very wisely. Even if you start with the maths, you end up losing a lot of time because you're not able to do the question, and you end up losing questions in the English part as well. So it is important, if you are not able to do the question in first 30 minutes of maths, you shift to the other part, English, so that you secure the basic minimum marks that are required for the CSAT. And during the preparation, if you feel like you are weak in maths, I would definitely recommend practicing question, because this is something that you would not get in 15-20 days. You have to practice it all along the year during the preparation.
So coming to an end, which phase of this UPSC prelims, mains, interview you found very difficult and you very challenging, and you really struggle to clear that? Which phase of this UPSC?
So in the hindsight, when I was preparing, all the 3 stages are very difficult.
Yes.
But in the hindsight, I feel, firstly, I think thanks to you, the kind of questions that were there in the test series, that actually helped me prepare well for the prelims. Not only the 2022, but also the 2023 prelims. So that is kind of the tone that you said through the question. That was really helpful. So that helped me clear the prelims exam very smoothly. But I think the most challenging part of the preparation was the mains, for sure, because this was my first attempt and first main, so I didn't know what was the kind of
Yes.
the effort that is required, the kind of answer structuring that is required, and you have to do it all in 3 months, because before prelims you don't actually there is, you do practice for mains, but the kind of intensity required, it actually speeds up after the prelims. So that was the most challenging part, because first two tests, they don't go your way. I remember scoring only 75 in my first polity test that I gave, and actually I also called you because I secured very less marks. So after that, I think first two tests are hiccups, and then you realize you need to do more, and then you gradually improve, and it is kind of also a learning process that you can actually improve in just span of 3 months. So there would be times that you will be feeling very low, and you will be feeling कि होगा कि नहीं होगा, नाम आएगा या नहीं आएगा. But eventually, I think if you keep it every day, you set the focus, set the targets right, and you create a timeline of the subjects that you want to complete at different periods. That is important to ensure that your mind is smooth, your mind is stable, that you will be able to finish the syllabus in time. So in that sense, I think the mains part was challenging as well as very transformative part for me, because I learned a lot of things about myself, like how can I manage my time within optionals, so it was kind of a very transformative learning during that journey. And in the interview part, it was more of a fun, because I was already in the Indian Economic Services. I had friends whom I had discussions with. That was also a new part, because the kind of mindset that is required in the interview is completely different what is there in the mains. So all the three parts are enjoyable in themselves, but for me the mains was the most challenging part.
So students, lot to learn today. Because once we clear any examination, any part of either we are going for UPSC or NABARD or RBI, or that is not UPSC standard, we feel like we have done a lot. But he cleared his UP Indian Economic Service with the first rank. After that also he worked very hard for this UPSC examination, and he cleared 2 important exams in the very first year of his preparation of his journey. So you have to be patient, you have to believe yourself, and you have to keep working hard for this examination until you give your best, and then results will show what exactly you put in. But this is what I will advise all my students, those who are preparing for this UPSC 2024. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arjun, for this interview. Good.